Welcome back to the channel, you guys, and I'm really excited to bring you a video specifically about some accessories that you might want to consider if you own the DJI AVATA drone. Some of these things that I'm going to talk about in this video today are things that I would say are probably must-haves on my list of things that I definitely need or want. And some things you might say, I'll consider maybe looking into those. First thing right off the bat, I'm going to talk about an upgrade to the goggles. This is going to be something that's going to stick with me because I know I'm going to be using these goggles even if I'm not flying the AVATA in the very near future when they actually release their O3 air unit, which I'm super looking forward to. This one was not sent to me by Ethix. I actually paid for this with my own money. This strap particularly, it's their Ethix HD strap that they have made for the Goggles V2. It does work perfectly for the Goggles 2, and I absolutely love this idea. I hate the long cable that the goggles comes with. This is actually a cable, and I'll put a link in the description below where I picked this up off of Amazon. There aren't a lot of options for this cable because it uses an interesting type of Canon plug. I did take this from a different thing that I purchased off Amazon so that I can use a smaller cable to make this more compact. But overall, this goggle strap is phenomenal. I use it on my Goggles V2. I have been for a really long time. It's made of excellent quality, and again, it fits perfectly on the Goggles too. And it allows me to be able to put the battery right on there. It stays nice and secure, like that battery is not going anywhere. Do definitely recommend you do this if you decide to go this method. If you get this cable, zip tie it in, because it's always a possibility that that Canon plug can back out, and you don't want that happening while you're flying. So I actually have it nicely, neatly zip tied in. It goes underneath the strap there and kind of roundabout to kind of keep it nice and clean. I like cable management. But yeah, this is way better in my personal opinion than what normally comes with the DJI Goggles 2, and I think it's something you should definitely look at. The next thing we're going to look at is the Skyreat case that you can get for the DJI AVATA. I haven't even actually opened this up just yet, so we're going to open it up together in just a second and take a look. But I have to say, because I do a lot of traveling, whether it's in the United States or internationally, it's going to be important to me to be able to have something like this to take my AVATA on travel with me, which I absolutely will, because I like to be able to get those types of cool shots when I'm in places that I normally don't go. So for that reason, I think the AVATA is a great tool. And yeah, so we'll take a look at a carry-in case you might want to consider. Another thing we're going to be taking a look at is the propellers that were sent to me. They are made by a company called Drone Tech. And I'm going to talk about what I think about these as far as compared to the standard DJI props. There are a few prop options out there now that do exist. These were the ones that were sent to me first, and there's probably going to be more others. I've already been contacted by a couple other companies who are planning on sending me some props that I will be testing out. I would say I have flown these already. I will say that straight up, my personal opinion is that these are a pretty good direct replacement. It's great because they're a little bit cheaper, and I think that these are super rad because they are bright orange and it looks cool. Also, the benefit to that is if you happen to crash your AVATA in a bush, it's a little bit easier to see because these are bright orange. The next accessory that I'm going to be talking about is one that I think is sort of a must-have. If you are anybody who wants to try to get anything even close to cinematic level shots, you're going to want to have some good ND filters to do that. These are the Freewell ND Filters that were sent to me by Freewell, and I really appreciate that because these are some pretty great quality ones. When you compare them to the DJI ones, which are a lot more expensive, I think they're like $80 compared to these, which are like $50 for the 4-pack. You also get an additional ND filter with that, which is the ND64. So these ND filters have been pretty awesome for me. They still have the same issue that you normally have with any ND filter that you're going to use for the AVATA, which is that they do have the chance and probability that they're going to pop off during a crash. So I have had to go hunting for it a few times, but it's not an issue with the filters per se. It's just the way that they've created the camera for the AVATA that makes it kind of really difficult to create anything that's going to stick in there during a crash. So just be aware of that. Be advised that there's a lot of things within DJI's warranty replacement policy that can void your ability to get a replacement if they can determine that you meet the criteria of their policy, such as any sort of third-party accessory or change that you've done to the drone that's not made directly by DJI, or if you decide to put a GoPro on top of this thing and take off with it. That added weight will definitely make this unstable, and if they can see that you actually had a crash and you try to get a replacement because of that situation, they may not honor it. So just keep that in the back of your mind and make sure you try your best to CYA. Cover your ass. So let's go ahead and hop into the Skyreat case and see exactly what we're working with as far as storage options. One of the things I've been seeing a lot online with most of the cases I come across is that they don't have room for this controller. I absolutely fly with this controller a lot, so it needs to have room for this, so hopefully it's there. I don't really use the motion controller myself. In fact, the only times I ever use the motion controller with the AVATA is when I've allowed other people who don't normally fly FPV to try it out, and for that purpose it's pretty dope. but it's not something I'm too concerned with if there isn't space for it. It'd be cool if there was though. But yeah, definitely this guy. So let's go ahead and crack it open and see what we're working with. So actually, wait, before we even get into the case, let's go ahead and do a rugged test. I'll tell you for sure right now that if you go through airports that they're gonna beat this thing up. Can you lock it? You absolutely can. So there's a lock option there, a lock option there. But yeah, can it take a hit? Let's try. Holy crap, I almost broke my whole freaking desk, but you know what? It didn't even make a scratch on this thing. That's pretty impressive. I'm gonna, you know what? Let's go ahead and beat it up some more. Fuck it. See, instead of beating it up on top of my freaking workbench, let's try to beat it up here on the floor where I can really go at it. You know what? Let's go ahead and do one with this side just for good measure. All right, we did make a couple of dings. So, not bad though, even from the backside. Superficial at best. Pretty solid. Definitely happy with that. Yeah, let's open it up. So this case is also waterproof, they say, so we're gonna have to test that out somehow. Maybe we can find a lake to throw it in. But for now, let's go ahead and get inside. It does look like you have to use this sort of latch mechanism, so you use down your thumb there, open it up. Other side. That's actually nice, good quality, you can feel it. And let's see what we got. Did I beat it up too much? I think I beat it up too hard. Never wants to open again. Ooh, holy shit, it's like sealed. Yeah, that's gotta be waterproof. That was like an airtight seal, holy crap. So yeah, at first glance, you can definitely tell that it's got a gasket around the edge here. It's gonna help you out with waterproofness. So now that we're on the inside, I am really excited because check this out. Boom. That's what I really care about. Look, we even got space for the thing. Got room for the goggles. And I can actually even keep the, yes, dope. That is cool. So you can stick maybe an ND filter here, and what else? We got another goggle battery we can stick there. This is for the charging hub for the Fly More. Stick a bunch of batteries in here. And we can even stick some other things underneath this compartment. I think the drone has to go in this way. Yeah, there we go. Upside down. Heck, I can even stick my charging cable in here, since I stuck my little charging brick in there. That's pretty neat. Might be able to stick this in here-ish, maybe? It'd be kind of nice if there was somewhere I could stick this thing, but that's not the fault of the case. It's more Freewell's fault for having such a ginormous case for their ND filters, but it is what it is. Let's close her up. Oh wait, can I stick that? Oh, I can. Close her up. Pretty cool, not gonna lie. And yeah, it looks like it's maintaining its watertight integrity, which is good. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty impressed. Good amount of space there. That's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna have to say this, so far it gets an A+ for me. So the next accessory I'm going to talk about are the ND filters that I got directly from Freewell. I will say again right off the bat, if you want to try to get anything close to cinematic footage, you're going to need to have ND filters to achieve that look, especially because the DJI AVATA shoots in only 50 FPS or 60 FPS. So in order to try to get that natural motion blur look, you're going to need to have a set of ND filters. Their 4-pack comes with an ND 8, 16, 32, 64, which is pretty rad. Currently have the 32 on the drone right now, so you can see how it actually hooks in there. Overall, I'll say that the quality of these Freewell ND filters is much better than the DJI ones. The DJI ND filters are plastic as far as the outside frame goes, and the Freewell ones are made of metal, so that's pretty dope. Freewell does have a lifetime warranty on their ND filters. It doesn't cover things like crash or damage or loss. It does cover things like, let's say your polarizer filter isn't polarizing as well as it used to, and that's something that you can get a replacement for. The ND8 through 64 are going to be the ones that you're going to want to use for the purposes of shooting outside in daylight. So they're going to range from like partially cloudy days all the way up to bright sunny days is where you're going to want to use these to try to get that natural motion blur. You have a polarizer filter, which is intended for use with shooting footage where you have a high probability and chance of getting lots of glare, like over water, so on and so forth. The UV filter is one that you're going to want to use when you're shooting outside and there's a high chance of UV light creating artifacts in your footage. So a good example of this situation was when I was doing my motor upgrade video. I was not using an ND filter, I was using auto settings, and I was getting a lot of artifacts in that footage. This is something that's certainly going to help you. I think the biggest overall benefit for the Freewell ND filters is the fact that you're going to save a lot of money compared to if you were to buy the DJI ND filters. You're going to get a set of 3 from DJI for $80, as opposed to Freewell, you're getting a set of 4 for $49.99, and then these individually are $29.99. So yeah, kind of a no-brainer in regards to how much money do you want to spend, and I'm always looking for opportunities to give the least amount of money to DJI as possible, so yeah, no, yeah, yes. The last accessory I'm going to talk about in this video are the propellers. Now these ones are made by a company called Drone Tech. In terms of quality, looking at both of these props side by side, this is the standard DJI prop and this is the Drone Tech prop, and yeah, they pretty much look of the same equivalent quality to me. They have a very similar feel to each other. I don't really see one being super beneficial over the other in terms of durability because they pretty much feel the exact same, made of the same exact polycarbonate material that the standard ones are. They of course do have a black option if you're not wanting to go with something super vibrant and bright like the orange ones. These are pretty much a direct replacement for the DJI props, so that's pretty good. Again, the best part about these props is they're less expensive. They are labeled correctly, so if you want to know which one is going to go on the orange painted motor, if you're using the stock motors, you've got a silver circle here, and on the black version that they have a orange circle to match the DJI orange dot ones. I will say, however, that these props do appear to be just slightly bigger than the stock props, which means that if you look, there's really not a lot of extra tolerance between the prop tip and the inside of the prop guard. Most of the time, that's actually a good thing. It's better for efficiency to kind of reduce the gap that you have there around the edges of the prop guard and the prop, but you may run into a situation where you do get a little bit of rubbing depending on how you're flying. As you can see, I do kind of have a little bit of rubbing marks from these orange ones. But I didn't hear any rubbing as I was flying. It's probably when I was crashing. Yeah, and they stood up to durability tests that I was putting it through. Had a couple of pretty tough crashes and did not break a prop at all. Bend or nothing, not even a chip. So that's pretty good as far as durability goes. I will absolutely say that you do need to for sure use the hardware that is included with the props. Do not try to use the standard DJI hardware. If you look, the DJI hardware has kind of got like a smooth surface, and that area is a lot thicker than what they've made these holes. So if you try to stick this through that hole, it's gonna get stuck and you won't be able to get it out. And yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So just go ahead and use their hardware as opposed to the DJI hardware. I really didn't see any difference in performance level and or battery life or anything like that. It's pretty much exactly on par with what I was experiencing with the standard DJI stock props. So there's that. In regards to any third-party company that makes a propeller, something that I want you guys to be always vigilant for and pay close attention to, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with having heard their name or their reputation, is the balance. If you do end up flying with props that are not perfectly balanced, you're gonna notice it right away because you're gonna have some additional oscillations or flight characteristics that you're not used to seeing. If you happen to experience that, take these off and put the stock props right back on. Don't ever use it again. Give them one chance and that's it. Dead serious, because if you are using the wrong props and or props that are not right for the drone or working correctly, you can definitely have a safety issue and or crash, lose your drone over something really dumb like a prop. You try to save $4 for what, right? So keep that in the back of your mind. I personally have not experienced any of those issues with these particular props. These props have been pretty solid for me since I've been flying with them. And yeah, for now, they're definitely getting my stamp of approval. Until I do run across any issue with them, I will definitely let you guys know and update you to stop using these and don't give them a second chance. Plain and simple. And that's gonna do it for the video, guys. I really appreciate you checking out the channel. If you do like what you see, consider giving the video a like so that other people can see the content. And you're always welcome to subscribe. If you have any questions, as always, please drop them down in the comments below. I do everything in my power to answer every single one of them. With that, you guys have a wonderful day and happy flying.
Just like a Sunday morning drive, and you're cruising with your baby by your side, and the groove has got you moving with no ties. Yeah, you're flowing smooth as summer wine, and you got to simply let it slide, let it slide, let it slide.